Be still and listen carefully, because this message is not a coincidence. You didn't just scroll and find this. You needed this. There have been nights when you prayed and heard nothing back. Moments when your heart was breaking, but heaven felt silent. You asked God for help, but the situation didn't change. You waited, but nothing moved. And slowly, a question started growing inside you. God, are you even listening? You won't say it out loud, but you felt it. The doubt, the confusion, the quiet fear that maybe God has forgotten you. But hear this, and hear this clearly. God is not silent the way you think He is. Because sometimes when heaven is quiet, that's when God is doing His deepest work. You see, we expect God to move loudly, with signs, with instant answers, with visible change. But God often works in silence. Just because you don't hear Him doesn't mean He has left you. Just because nothing is changing doesn't mean nothing is happening. Right now, in this very moment, behind the scenes of your life, God is aligning things you cannot see. And that delay, that silence, that waiting, it's not punishment. It's preparation. So before you give up, before you stop praying, before you lose faith completely, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you will understand why God feels silent, what He is actually doing, and why this moment in your life is more important than you think. Now, let's begin. Part 1. The feeling of silence. There was a time when your faith felt strong, when praying felt easy and believing felt natural. But something changed. Now it feels different, heavier, quieter. You still pray, but it doesn't feel the same anymore. The words come out, but your heart feels distant. You sit there, hoping for a sign, waiting for something to shift, but nothing happens. And that silence, it starts to get louder. It follows you at night when everything is quiet, when your thoughts won't stop and your mind keeps asking questions you don't have answers to. Why is this happening? Why isn't God helping me? Did I do something wrong? You look at your situation and it feels stuck. No progress, no breakthrough, no clear direction, just waiting. And waiting can be one of the hardest things you will ever go through, because it tests everything: your patience, your strength, your faith. You start overthinking. Maybe God is disappointed in me. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe He's listening to others, but not me. And even if you don't say it, you feel it. That quiet distance between you and God. You see other people smiling, talking about blessings, talking about miracles, and you wonder, why not me? Why does it feel like everyone else is moving forward while you're stuck in the same place? And the hardest part is this: you're trying. You're really trying. You're not a bad person. You don't want to give up. You don't want to lose faith. But it's getting harder every single day. Because silence can feel like rejection. It can make you believe that God is ignoring you, that your prayers don't matter. But what if that's not the truth? What if the silence you're experiencing right now is not God leaving you, but something else entirely? Because the truth is, some of the most important moments in your life will come when God feels the quietest. And if you misunderstand this season, you might walk away right before everything changes. So don't rush this feeling. Don't ignore it. Because what you're going through right now, it has a purpose. And in the next part, you're going to see that you are not the only one who has felt this way. Now, listen carefully. Part 2, you are not alone. What you're feeling right now, this confusion, this waiting, this silence, it's not new. You are not the first person to feel this way, and you won't be the last. Because even the strongest people, the ones with the deepest faith, have gone through seasons where God felt silent. Think about Job, a man who did everything right. He was faithful, he was obedient, and yet his life fell apart. He lost his family, his health, his wealth, everything. Gone. And in the middle of all that pain, God was silent. No answers, no explanation, no immediate rescue, just silence. Now think about Joseph. He had a dream, a promise from God, but instead of fulfillment, his life went the opposite direction. He was betrayed by his own brothers, sold like he meant nothing, then falsely accused and thrown into prison. Years passed, not days, not weeks, years. And during that time, no clear voice from God, no visible progress, just waiting in silence. And what about David? A man chosen by God, anointed as king. But his reality? He was hunted, running for his life, hiding in caves, crying out again and again, "God, where are you?" If you read his Psalms, you'll see something real. Not perfect faith, not constant strength, but raw emotion, doubt, fear, loneliness, and yet he kept reaching out. Do you see the pattern? These weren't weak people. They were chosen. They were faithful. And still, they experienced silence. So if you're going through it right now, it doesn't mean you're failing. It doesn't mean God has left you. It might actually mean you are in a season that every strong person has to pass through. Because silence is not the absence of God. Sometimes it is the presence of something deeper, something you cannot see yet. And here's what most people get wrong. They think, if God is with me, everything should be easy. But that's not how it works. Sometimes, when God is closest, life feels the hardest. Because He is not just trying to make you comfortable. He is trying to transform you. And transformation doesn't happen in noise. It happens in silence. So don't compare your journey to someone else's highlight, because what God is doing in you is personal. It's intentional. And most importantly, it's not finished yet. In the next part, you're going to understand what God is actually doing while everything feels quiet. Because once you see this, you will never look at silence the same way again. Part 3. What God is doing in silence. Right now, even though you can't see it, something is happening. Not on the surface, not where your eyes are focused, but deeper. Because God's greatest work is often invisible at first. You see, we focus on what is changing outside, situations, people, results. But God, He starts from within. And that's why, during seasons of silence, it feels like nothing is happening. But that's not true. The first thing God is doing is preparing you. Preparing your mindset, your strength, your character. Because where you are going, the next level of your life, requires a version of you that doesn't exist yet. And that version is built in silence. Think about it. If everything happened instantly, if every prayer was answered immediately, you wouldn't grow. You would stay the same. And the same version of you cannot handle the future God has planned. So, He waits. Not to hurt you, but to build you. The second thing God is doing in silence is testing your faith. Not to make you fail, but to make your faith real. Because it's easy to believe when everything is going right. But true faith is revealed when nothing makes sense. When you keep praying even when you feel nothing. When you keep trusting even when you see no results. That's when your faith becomes unshakable. And the third thing, this is the one most people never see. God is protecting you in ways you don't understand yet. There are things you asked for, opportunities, people, situations that didn't work out, and it hurt. You thought, why would God take this away from me? But what if that no was actually protection? Protection from the wrong timing, the wrong people, the wrong path. Because you can't see everything, but God can. He sees the outcome before the beginning. And sometimes what feels like silence is actually God saying, not yet. Or, I have something better. But here's the challenge. Silence requires trust. And trust is difficult when you don't have answers. That's why many people quit in this season. They walk away not because God failed them, but because they misunderstood what He was doing. Don't make that mistake. Because right now, even if it feels slow, even if it feels empty, God is working. He is shaping you, strengthening you, positioning you for something bigger than you can see today. And in the next part, you're going to see what happens when people lose faith in this exact moment. Because this is where most people fall apart. Stay with me. Part 4. The danger of losing faith. This is the moment where everything becomes dangerous. Not because your situation got worse, but because your mindset starts to shift. Slowly, quietly, you begin to lose something you didn't even realize was slipping away. Your faith. It doesn't disappear all at once. It fades, little by little. First, you stop believing things will change. Then, you stop expecting anything at all. And eventually, you stop trying. You still live your life. You still go through the motions, but inside, something is shut down. That fire you once had, that hope, that trust, it's not the same anymore. And this is where most people make a silent decision. If nothing is happening, why should I keep believing? So they disconnect. Maybe not completely, but enough to stop growing. They stop praying like before. They stop trusting like before. And without realizing it, they start depending only on themselves. Now listen carefully, because this is the trap. The moment you rely only on yourself, you limit your life to what you can control. And what you can control is small. Much smaller than what God had planned for you. But here's the hardest truth. Many people don't walk away after failure. They walk away right before the breakthrough. Right before things shift. Right before doors open. Right before everything starts making sense. They quit. Because the silence felt too long. And they misunderstood it as rejection instead of preparation. Don't let that be your story. Because if you've made it this far, if you're still holding on even a little, that means something inside you is still alive. And that matters more than you think. You don't need perfect faith. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to not give up here. Because this stage, this exact moment, is where your future is being decided. Will you walk away? Or will you trust even without understanding? Because in the next part, you're going to learn what you must do to stay strong in this silent season. And this might be the part that changes everything for you. Part 5. What you must do now. So the question is, what do you do when God feels silent? When you've prayed, waited, tried, and nothing seems to move. Do you quit? Do you walk away? Or do you respond differently this time? Because this moment, this exact season of your life is not just something you go through. It's something you choose how to handle. And the first thing you must do is this. Keep praying. Not perfectly, not with the right words, but honestly. Even if all you can say is, God, I don't understand. God, I'm tired. God, I feel nothing. Say it anyway, because prayer is not about performance. It's about connection. And connection doesn't require perfect feelings. It requires consistency. The second thing you must do is stop trusting your emotions over truth. Because your feelings, they change constantly. One day you feel strong, the next day you feel empty. But truth does not change. Even when you don't feel it, God is still there. Even when you don't see it, He is still working. So don't let a temporary feeling make a permanent decision. The third thing is discipline, not motivation, because motivation fades, but discipline keeps you steady when everything else feels unstable. Set small anchors in your day, a few minutes of silence, a short prayer, reading even one line of scripture, not because you feel like it, but because you choose to stay connected. And finally, you must learn to trust God's timing, not your timeline, not your expectations. Because most of your frustration comes from this. You want things to happen now. But God sees a bigger picture, a timing that aligns everything perfectly. And if He gave it to you early, it might destroy what He is trying to build. So instead of asking, "Why is this taking so long?" start asking, "What is this season trying to teach me?" Because once you understand that, waiting stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like purpose. You're not stuck. You're being shaped. And if you can stay consistent here, if you can stay grounded in this silence, you won't just survive this season. You'll come out of it stronger than ever before. And now, it's time for the final part. Because everything we talked about leads to one truth you need to hear clearly. Stay with me. Part 6. The truth that changes everything. At the end of all this, after the waiting, the silence, the confusion, there is one truth you need to understand. God has not left you. Not for a moment. Not in your worst day. Not in your weakest night. Not even when you felt completely alone. He was there. Even in the silence. Because His presence is not based on what you feel. It's based on who He is. And who He is does not change. The same God who was with Job in his pain, the same God who was with Joseph in his waiting, the same God who heard David in his cries, is with you right now. Not watching from a distance, not ignoring your prayers, but working in ways you cannot see yet. And one day, you're going to look back at this exact season, this silence, this waiting, this confusion, and you'll realize something that will change everything. God was preparing you. Every delay had a reason. Every closed door had a purpose. Every silent moment was shaping you into who you needed to become. And if God had answered everything instantly, you would have missed the growth, the strength, the clarity, the version of you that exists now because of this season. So don't regret this time. Don't hate the silence, because this might be the most important chapter of your life. You didn't break here. You didn't give up. You stayed. And that is what makes you different. So from this moment forward, walk with faith, even when you don't feel it. Pray, even when it feels quiet. Trust, even when it doesn't make sense. Because God is not done with you. Not even close. Your story is still being written. And what feels like an ending might just be the beginning of everything. Stay strong, stay faithful, and remember, even in silence, God is working. So if this message reached your heart, don't keep it to yourself. There might be someone right now feeling the same pain, the same confusion, the same silence. Send this to them. Because sometimes God uses people to answer prayers.